adder, and after it is added, you will have the signal for transmission. And this signal, when it is transmitted, usually will transmit over the satellite channels. And when you go for this direct sequence spread spectrum signal, after this only these two modulations, it is not possible to transmit over the satellite channels, because the strength of the signal will be weak to transmit over the satellite channels. Hence, we are to overcome this drawback which is available, which is with the direct sequence spread spectrum. We have another type. It is DSS, direct sequence spread spectra, with the binary phase shift keying technique. So this type of signal can be transmitted over satellite channels. So hence how this particular signal will be generated. First let us see. In this, as usual, our binary sequence B of k will be considering that we will be passing through an non-return to zero polar encoding technique. So non-return to zero polar encoder we will be using as a next block, and what the output you will be getting is a binary time variant signal, and that will be added with a noise sequence. That noise sequence generated through the PN generator, and after generating it will get converted into bipolar non-return to zero signal, and that signal is given to an product modulator. So thereby the next block will be the PSK or BPSK modulator. And to this modulator, as we know that there will be basis function phi of t. This phi of t will be 2 by TB into cos 2 by FCT. Okay, that is given to S of that will be transmitted over a channel. But when the signal is getting transmitted over the channel, you will have your S of t. After B of t multiplied with C of t, it is termed to be S of M of t. And this M of t, when it is added with phi of t, it is equal to S of t with phi of t as X of t. So here let us see the waveforms how you will be getting for this direct sequence spread spectra with binary phase shift keying. So for which let us see a given sequence. The given sequence, let me consider your M of t. This is M of t, which is the encoded value of binary sequence after adding with the PN sequence. So initially the sequence it is considered like this: 0 0 1 1 1 0 1. So the sequence 0 0 minus 1 plus 1, then again 0 minus 1 plus 1. Okay, so this whole sequence will be added within the TB duration. Now that will be your M of t, and this is considered to be M of t, and that M of t after adding with the PSK modulator, how the signal will look like. Let us see. So phi of t. So this phi of t, it is a carrier and this is cos function. So therefore 90 degrees. Try to plot these waveforms over the graph sheet so that it looks like a neat waveform. Okay, but you see that phi of t will start at 90 degrees. 2 by TB, and this will be minus root of 2 by TB. That is the amplitude. Okay. Once it is added with the pseudo noise sequence modulated signal, that is your m of t. So what you will be getting is x of t as the output. This is your phi of t. These two are getting multiplied. Once they multiply these two signals, 0, 0 is getting multiplied with. So whenever 0 with minus this value, it is getting multiplied with this one. So how it will be means, you can see entire signal will get shifted with a 90 degree. Okay. So at this point, two zeros. Okay. So you should show there is an 180 degree phase shift. So how to show that one? Let me. Okay. So whenever it is multiplied, it starts with 0. The okay. So there will be an 180 degree phase shift because 0 to 1. So its duration, same carrier will continue, and again when it comes to 1 to 0, there will be minus 180 degree phase shift. So you can see that there are two phase shifts. One it is at plus 180 degree and the other one it is at minus 180 degree phase shift. Zero to 1, whenever there is a shift, you will have 180 degree plus 180 degree phase shift, and 1 to 0, whenever there is a phase shift or bit change transition, then you have to okay. Then how will be the receiver for such direct sequence spread spectrum binary phase shift keying? So for that, let's BPSK receiver. So you will have the received signal here, y of t. This y of t is x of t plus the noise content also over the channel will get added. So because of that, the x of t won't be received. along with the depth of t, the noise signal also will be receiving, that we are representing as y of t. When it is received at the receiver, the very first block is to remove that carrier which has been added at the last stage of your DSS BPSK signal. So for which the first block at the receiver is the local oscillator, which is generating a local oscillator carrier which is synchronized with the transmitted signal, that is root of 2 by TB into cos 2 by FCT. So this will be the received signal, and after multiplying with the local oscillator, local frequency or the carrier, it will be given to this output of this block is given to an integrator. This integrator will limit the signal strength between 0 to dB seconds, and the next block, which is going to be the local noise sequence. So PN sequence we will be adding. After adding the PN sequence, the complete removal of the sequence will happen. Again, will be given to an integrator, and after the integrator, the signal will be given to an sampler. Sampler will sample at every TB seconds, and the output of this is given to an decision device. And this decision device will have a threshold value which is equal to 0, and the output is given to the output of this decision device we will considering as L. Based on L value, the decision device will take it in favor of symbol 0 or symbol 1. Okay, now further moving. So this will be the decision. Okay, L based on L, the L value, if L value is greater than 0, say symbol 1 has been decided. If L value is lesser than 0, say symbol 0, it has been received at the TV in. Now, how do we, based on what are the parameters, we will be deciding the performance of this direct sequence spectrum. So, parameters of spread spectrum, let us discuss performance of direct sequence spread spectrum system. The first performance parameter is the process gain. So in this gain is the ratio of the bandwidth of spread signal to bandwidth of unspreaded signal. So hence bandwidth of the spreaded signal, it is nothing but 1 by Tc, and your unspreaded signal is the bit duration 1 by okay. But as already we know that TB is equal to N into Tc. So therefore, the processing gain when we are considering N into Tc by Tc, so which is equal to N. How much is the sequence length? That will be the processing of your direct sequence spread spectrum BPSK system. What is the probability of error of direct sequence BPSK system. So first let us see to consider the BPSK probability of error. As already we have derived, this is equal to half of complementary error function of root EB by N naught. But for direct sequence spread spectrum, this is not equal to A into C by 2, where J is average interference noise. First, sorry, that is not JC, it is TC. This one you can take it as this as TC itself. So therefore, the probability of error function, if you substitute for N naught value, it is half of error complementary function of root EB by J into TC. The third important parameter that you have to, that will decide the performance of direct sequence spread spectrum is the jamming margin. So in order to know this jamming margin, let EB be energy per bit. So already we know, and if you are representing in terms of average power, this energy per bit will be equal to the average power multiplied within the bit duration. So therefore, EB by N naught, jamming margin, EB by, it is defined as a ratio of the energy per bit to the noise. So hence EB by N naught is equal to PS into TB. What is this N naught value? N naught value is J into TC. So you can reorganize this equation as PS by J. Multiply this with the TB by TC. So J by PS, J by PS, reciprocity theorem if you apply, TB by TC plus this one, 1 by EB by N naught. So hence J by PS is equal to TB by TC into 1 by EB by N naught, or J by PS is equal to processing gain. TB by TC we know it is processing gain. Multiply this or divide this with EB by N naught, or multiply processing gain with N naught by. Here, what is this J by PS is? It is the jamming margin. And this is equal to J by PS in decibels equal to processing gain in decibels. If you are representing in terms of the decibels EB by A naught also in decibels, or equation wise or through the expansion wise if you are defining in decibels equal to processing gain in decibels minus 10 log EB by A naught, which is in decibels. Okay, now let us solve one or two problems on this, and afterwards we'll go for the next important topic, that is the frequency of spread spectrum. In this particular first problem, one example problem, it's let us solve. So you have an TB of 4.095 milliseconds, TC of 1 microseconds, EB by A naught, which is 10, for an probability of error less than or equal to 10 to the power of minus 5. So you need to find the processing gain and the noise margin. Okay, or jamming margin. First, since we know TB value and TC value, at the first step, find processing gain by TC. If you go substitute for TB 4.095 milliseconds, TC is 1 microseconds. It is approximated to 4095. The jamming margin which is processing gain in decibels minus 10 log EB by A naught. So you can compute, because processing gain you know, EB by A naught value you know. If you substitute and compute the value, it is 26.1 decibels as the noise margin you will be getting. So now let us see what are the applications of this direct sequence spread spectrum. The first application of this direct sequence spread spectrum signal is at anti-jamming with direct sequence spread spectrum. So most of these direct sequence spread spectra as an anti-jamming signal used in military applications. But the type of jamming signal, it may be Gole code or separated Gole code or maximum shift register code. So basically this direct sequence spread spectra, either with BPSK or without BPSK, it will be used in military applications. The second application of this direct sequence spread spectra is that low detectability signal transmission or low probability intercept. Wherever the signal transmission with low detectability means high security, when we need to provide, we'll go for direct sequence spread spectra signal. What should be the power spectral density maintenance between the signal and the channel noise that you have to supposed to maintain in order to have low detectability The reason why the power spectral density we are considering here between the signal and the channel noise, the power spectral density of the signal, if it is lesser than the channel noise, low detectability will be. Our average power of this signal always must be very much less than the noise power. Then low detectability signal transmission is possible. Another important application of this is code division multiple access with direct sequence spread spectrum. So here also in the code division multiplexer, we'll be using the direct sequence spread spectrum. Many users can share some channel because same channel because each user will have different PN sequence. Many channels code division in what do you mean by code division multiple access means here same channel will be but multiple frequencies will be using different codes, so hence on a same channel multiple signals can be transmitted with different PN sequence. Limitations of direct sequence perspective. What are the limitations? If jamming increases, the sequence length increases. As the sequence length increases, jamming also increases because n is directly dependent on bit duration and chip duration. One is fixed, TB is fixed, whereas TC is variable. So therefore, n may vary. If n increases, results in rise and fall time increase. And if rise time fall time of the TB increases, TC starts decreasing it. It is practicably impossible. So these are the applications of direct sequence spread spectra with BPSK or without BPSK. Students, if you have any doubts, you can get clarified. Otherwise, I'll go for frequency hub spread spectrum. Any doubts with that sequence spectra? Gokul, any doubt? Harshita?
No, ma'am. Ma'am, you're not audible, ma'am.
Okay, sorry. With a neat block diagram, explain the concept of frequency hop spread spectrum is the first question in module 5, and this frequency hop spread spectra yet to be finished. The other thing, even the despreading on a narrowband interference with necessary diagram, that also yet to be finished. Whereas if you go for 9C, find the output sequence of a shift register. PN sequence generator is given. You need to find out that PN sequence output sequence of the PN generator at this point. Whereas initial state it is given as 111. So substitute XOR the second flip-flop output with the third flip-flop's output, and that you give it as an input for the most significant flip-flop. So thereby you will get the PN sequence. And the next question, 10th question, if you are observing, explain the operation of a direct sequence spread spectra DSS signal with relevant waveforms and spectrum. So in your that is for 6 marks, you can answer easily. And one of the application with the spread spectrum is the co-division multiple access based IS95. So need diagram, with need diagram explain that. Then write short note on applications of direct sequence spread spectrum. So in this question paper already the two portions of the question already is covered through the direct sequence spread spectra. One is PN sequence and the other one is the block diagram of a direct sequence spread spectra with relevant block diagram. So these are the various type of questions which may ask. Still few more question papers I'll try to upload. Please prepare as per these question papers. Okay. Almost all the question papers questions I'm covering for your IA.